Are you approaching the end game and are wondering what is the best archetype to invest in? Well, this is the video for you. Hello, Aquano here, back with another video on Metaphor ReFantazio. And this time we're going to talk about endgame archetypes. So last time I made a video about the mid-game archetypes, which one are the best, and the video did pretty well. Peaked around like 10,000 views. Appreciate it a lot, guys. So we're back here. I was like, hey, I reached 80 hours. I'm like at the end, pretty much at the end of the game. So let's talk about the endgame archetypes. So we're going to divide this video into three categories: the physical, magical, and then more supportive archetypes. So let's start with the physical damage dealer archetypes in the game. So when you start in the game, you pretty much get three of them slash fourth. The fourth being the merchant, which can do pretty good physical almighty damage. There's a lot of videos about the crit build. I suggest you going to watch them. I'm not gonna like talk too much about the merchant because I think everyone knows why it's broken. Is you just spam crit, and this one is very, very important to just farm money. Now the three physical damage dealing classes you get at the beginning are the gunner, the brawler, and the swordmaster. And at the end of the game, you get the berserker. For the gunner, it gives you very, very valuable skills that gives you pierce damage from the back row. And it's very, very valuable because you don't even need to play the gunner. You can just master it and then inherit those skills on the brawler or the swordmaster to be able to do pierce damage if needed. Now I'm gonna highlight one ability specifically in this tree. It's gonna be the smashing salvo from the sniper. This one is very, 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 very valuable because it has heavy physical damage, which is pretty good for the stage of the game because this is just the second one. You can get it pretty early. And it decreases the defense of the enemy. Decreasing the defense of enemies is pretty valuable because you can just spam it. You're going to decrease the defense more and more. And then this benefits your entire team because your entire team will do more damage to the boss. And it's overall very, very valuable. I really like this ability. I feel like if your physical damage dealer has this, you can just inherit it, like I said, on the brawler, or the swordmaster, or the berserker, and just spam it like every other turn against the boss. And it can be pretty good. Now, I would say the brawler and the swordmaster are a bit better if you want to like main them. Now, the swordmaster can equip heavy armor, which can make it more valuable than the brawler, which cannot equip heavy armor. So you're gonna take a lot more damage on the brawler line. Now, the pugilist advantage is that it doesn't consume MP. You just use, like, for example, the crushing fist uses around a fifth of your HP. Now, I've seen people build HP on their brawler. This does nothing. Brawler uses a percentage of your HP when while calculating the how much HP it costs and the damage. So yeah, very, very good. It gives you access to a very good passives and strong synthesis skills. I mean, this is the second one, and it gives you extreme physical light damage for only like a fifth of your HP. This is very valuable. So if you want to main the brawler or like on one of your party members, pretty valuable. Now the monk can be pretty tricky to get. I don't even think you can get it before the end of the game. I think you can only unlock it post game because of Katharina's follower. But it is also very, very good. Now, I know that most people would obviously opt for just the Swordmaster route with Stroll. I've seen many people just play Warrior Stroll, then Swordmaster Stroll, and then Samurai Stroll. Very, very good. Now, I recommend you to synthesize some Brawler and Gunner skills on your Samurai Stroll, just to be able to hit on every single physical attribute. Now, this class is obviously crazy good, especially with that passive that gives you even more damage if you're trying to play like a couple warriors. And pretty much insane physical damage. This is in my opinion, one of the best classes in the game, especially in terms of damage. Now let's end this category with the berserker. The berserker is the last dedicated physical damage dealer in the game. Yeah. So this one you get it pretty late, so you probably won't have too much time to invest a lot in it unless you just put a lot of XP item on it. This one is pretty crazy. It has insane synthesis skills, or insane abilities that give you, for example, increase the attack or reduce the attack and defense of the enemy, or pretty just solid damage. Now, one thing I want to point out in this is that it does not have any weakness from the 4 first elements, and it resists all physical attributes, which makes it a very good pick to channel it for the final boss. You can channel this for your final boss and inherit some useful skills from the Soul Master, Brawler, or Gunner if needed. Because the final boss uses attacks that are Fire, Ice, Electric, Wind, and Physical. So yes, pretty solid overall. That's all I have to say on the physical archetypes. Now, let's move on to the magical archetypes. But before I'm going to do that, I'm going to talk about the hybrid archetype lines, the lineages. There's 2 of them. And it's going to be the Seeker lineage and the Thief lineage. The Thief lineage can be a good damage dealer. It can be just something you pick up to get dark skills on your mage. It can also be a crazy dodge tank if you manage to get the ninja on your Heizme and get it to level 20 to get a 3rd eye. Very, very crazy. We can even use the taunt skill from the knight to just attract every enemy and then try to dodge their attacks. Now, do not use the paladin's taunt because when you guard, you cannot dodge. Just something to point out. But yes, the thief can be pretty good magic damage dealer if you just take the Medoon. And then if you go to assassin and take for example, the lurking Nightblade or assassinate, heavy physical dark damage, can be pretty good. Or you can also just inherit these skills I just talked about on your samurai or on your berserker. Now, this class, I don't know about you guys, I'm not a big fan. The reason why is that, like, for example, the last one has magic damage, magic damage, magic damage, magic damage. All their skills are magic, but like if you look at the stats it gives you more strength than magic. And it's kind of like hybrid. So like it presents itself at the beginning of the game. It's a jack of all trade, master of none. Pretty interesting class, but in my opinion, what you should do is that you should try to like master it on some of your magic damage dealers, and then just inherit the very, very useful skills. Like this one, deal extreme wind damage to all enemies, and it ignores resistances, very valuable. Or this one that deals heavy damage and decrease their attack, which is pretty valuable. Like I said, debuffs are very good. So that's it for the hybrid classes. Like I said, they have multiple uses. Mainly, you can just get them, inherit their skills on other classes. Now, let's move on to the magic dealing classes. Now, there's going to be the Summoner, the Mage, the Mask Dancer, and the Healer line. So, the Healer line, very straightforward when it comes to magic dealing abilities. We're going to talk more about it when we go to support archetypes, but as a magic dealing archetype, you shouldn't sleep on it. It can give you very valuable and strong light skills, which you can't really get anywhere else for a mage. So what I recommend to do is that get them on a magic damage dealer, one of your magic damage dealers, and then just inherit them when you need them. When it comes to magic dealing, when it comes to support, we're gonna talk about it later because healing is obviously very good. Now let's go to the Summoner. The Summoner is very valuable because it has like very crazy defensive skills. Like when I saw that first, I was like, wait, that's kind of cool. Like this one just significantly decreases their attack and does extreme magic damage. This one does severe magic damage, which is even better than extreme. And like it removes the buff effect. This is more valuable than you think because some bosses, when they buff themselves, they're kind of fucked. You need to remove these buffs ASAP. And being able to deal damage and then do that at the same time is very valuable because then you don't have to waste a turn using Dekaja, which is this skill from the Faker that removes all buffs. Some people might recognize it from the SMT and Persona series. So yeah, the Summoner very valuable if there's gonna be like a boss that's like weak to wind or buffs itself a lot. It's definitely like a solid pick to channel this just for the synthesis skills. Same thing for the Devil Summoner, pretty much the same but with even more synthesis skills, pretty good synthesis skills. Now I would say I prefer the synthesis skills of the first one, but this one can be very valuable if you're against a boss who's weak to like ice or light. Pretty good. Now let's move on to the staple of the magic dealing category, which is the Mage class. The Mage class, pretty good overall. Not too much to say about it. It just gives you the ability to hit three weaknesses: electric, ice, and fire. Your magic, you're probably gonna start with you start with this very early. You get it like in the prologue, so you can already start mastering it with your MC or with like Hulkenberg if you want, because Hulkenberg will need the wizard at some point to get its Magic Knight or Dark Knight. Now the later ones, they basically all do the same thing, but at different levels. So this one gives you the same thing but stronger than the first one, etc. Now the one thing to note about the last one is that it gives you a thing called Magic Link. The Magic Link is going to have the MP cost of Synthesis skills, which can be very good if you inherit it on other classes, or just with this class and use crazy spells to unleash on the enemy. For example, deal severe magic damage to one enemy. This is going to only cost like 11 MP for each of your characters in the Synthesis. So very solid class. This one is pretty much the same thing, but with dark magic and pretty good passives too. Like I said, the staple of magic dealing classes. Now let's go to the last one. Gotta be the Mask Dancer. Mask Dancer is pretty quirky, I would say pretty special. You have to like craft masks, which gives you access to abilities from other classes. Also gives you by itself very good fire damage abilities, and you can input weaknesses on the enemy. Very useful class. What I personally do is that I put it on Juna and then give her the Cleric Mask, which can give her access to healing class healing spells while keeping its inheritance skills slots free for some other skills, like for example Faker skill. So very good class overall. Very diverse. You can play it however you want. It can be very valuable. Now that we're done with the magic classes, let's move on to the last category, the supportive classes. The supportive classes, there's going to be 4 of them. 2 of them are very straightforward. So we have the healer line, the faker line, the commander line, and the knight line. So let's just get knight and healer out of the way. This one is your tank, the best tank in the game, and pretty much the only one except the dodge tank variant I talked about with the ninja. Now the healer is your basic healer. The healer gives you very good healing, gives you ailment healing, it gives you debuff removal. So it gives you these 3 things, and a revival. So it gives you 4 things that are very valuable: healing, ailment healing, debuff removal, and revival. The knight, very good. It makes you this like skill is so broken. Like, you guard and taunt at the same time. You take almost no damage. This thing gives you like, you almost have infinite MP, and then you have crazy synthesis skills. This class is so fucking good. Even if the boss just spams AoE attack, the Holy Proclamation is still valuable in case like the AoE attack puts your entire party as like 1 HP, and then you want to take that one single target that could finish off one of your squishier party members. And in general, I would say this class is definitely one of the best. If you wanna play it, you don't have to, but if you want to play it on Hulkenberg, just to help you unlock the post-game archetypes, which I'm going to talk about in another video. Now, let's talk about the last 2 classes that, in my opinion, are the best classes. Why they're the best? Because it doesn't matter if the boss is weak to magic or physical. It doesn't matter if you want to bring the samurai or the elemental master. These 2 classes are always going to be good. Why? Because this one gives crazy debuffs and this one gives crazy buffs. And let's start with the faker. It's one of the best classes in the game. Some might say it's the best. It gives a very interesting skill, which is called Faker Roguery, which can give you like insane amount of turn icons. You can pretty much it can pretty much be your turn infinitely if you're lucky. I posted a video recently about me beating a boss in like 1 turn because of this. Very fun. Like I said earlier, Dekaja, very valuable, removes the buffs from the enemy. And if we're talking about, in my opinion, one of the best skills of the game, the Trickster gives you access to Vidyarthra, which is -2 defense and attack on the enemy. This is crazy good. You just like use this every other turn against the boss, keep it like crazy debuffed, and your entire team takes way less damage and does way more damage. This is just crazy. This also gets fake roguery, and you can gift MP, debilitate if you want, even though I think you just spam Vidyarthra. But yeah, this class in my opinion is one of the best classes in the game. Some people might say it is the best. I don't know, but it is very, very, very good. Now, let's end this video with my personal favorite class. I wouldn't dare say it's the best, but it's my personal favorite. It is the Commander line. The Commander line is very interesting. It's like a mix of very good elemental skills, sometimes physical, but mostly magical skills. And it gives you a lot of buffing abilities. Now, for example, this one gives you, for example, AoE fire damage, and it gives you Formation of Vigor, which your ally in the front row gives them a lot of attack, 2 stages of attack, insanely valuable. Now, this is the first one in the 3, and it already has a synthesis skill that gives you, like, pretty much a heat riser on your entire party for 3 turns. It's kind of crazy. Like, early game, it can pretty much just win you some battles. And then this one gives you the shuttle formation, which is one of my favorite, like, skills of the game. So you basically send your physical damage dealers to the front, you do crazy damage with them, and then it's your turn, the turn of the commander, and you're like, hey, guys, come on, guys, hey, get the fuck up, get the fuck away, back up, back up. You just, like, send everyone to the back row, you up the defense by 2 fucking stages, and you're just chilling, So yeah, it's very, very valuable ability, especially if you have, like 1 or 2 physical damage dealers on your party that want to be in the front row, want to do damage, but you don't want to stay there in case the boss does a lot of damage, you know what I mean? Also gives you access to crazy, like, magic spells that input weaknesses onto your AME. Very, very valuable. This one, pretty much the same thing, but it has something called Dynasty Formation, which is what I just talked about, but it gives, like, 3 stages. 3 stages of, like, every stat. It's kind of crazy. Now, it does cost a lot of MP, but it is a synthesis skill, which means if you have this on your magic damage dealer that has magic link, it is insanely good. It's basically like imagine giving like +3 every stat of every single party member. Like, you can't lose. Like, this is just, in my opinion, this is one of the best classes of the game. It is my personal favorite because I just love how you can, like, manipulate the position of your entire party. And pretty good buffs. Now, some people might say it's overrated, it costs too much MP. And I understand your opinion. Feel free to let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about any classes, or if you have your own interesting ideas about how to make an interesting party in this game. I would love to know all your combinations. It was Aquano, and see you guys next time.